We'll get that Wi-Fi together, Shun. Let's go get him again. You ready? This cut's still fresh. So I gotta make sure you can see me. Yeah, see me? I want to go ahead and start off with this joint again. I thought this was a really good clip in terms of what's most important and how things work together and how we can work together. That yin and yang. And realizing that we have much greater successes when we work together. So this is from a I don't like that. A lot of artists they'll never get nowhere. And this is really for everything. Because you have not taken steps to actually build your kingdom. It's a kingdom in your heart. So my aura is orange. Meaning that your aura is not from the inside out. You're doing this specifically to get a specific reaction, which is nothing wrong with making good music or making enjoyable music, right? But what happened is we saw more and more people get into something that's driven by the heart, but you're driven by the money. Like, I just had a battle. And in that battle, I realized the only way to really make myself come across as if I'm really performing is to really find a way to pour everything into that moment. Like everything. And also, I got to say shit that I really mean. It's really important if you're an artist is to say shit you really mean that really comes from your heart. Because that's when it's going to sound real. And you have to find a way to take or take things that's real to you and turn it into a song. And so many artists you've never ciphered, you've never been in ciphers, you've never done the live audition, or you're not used to that. That's how you develop your performance was rapping for niggas in person. Battle rapping, doing shows and showcases and talent shows, and rapping for niggas in person and having to do the audition or having to respond to the let me hear something. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get a bag. But your purpose cannot be completely selfish. We need selfishness and selflessness. Selfish, it's not always bad. You might just be prioritizing yourself for that moment in an appropriate way. But you also have to have times where you're going to do something good just to do it. And you'll have a better life when you do it on a regular basis, but also with discernment. All right. Of course, if it's an emergency and people need you, you come through. Right. But if it's something where you've decided, or if it's very clear that, well, they don't really need my help with that, and you say, all right, I'm going to sit this one out, they got it, that's something totally different. See how I give examples? Very mindful.
There was a period in time where fame and talent were partners. They had a relationship. Talent said, man, if this is good, and then you put fame on top of it, this thing goes. And over time, they've become arch enemies. In fact, fame doesn't even think it needs talent anymore. And talent has started to accept that. This is creating something that's going to happen that has a long, unintended and intended effect long term. To the point where I actually think anonymity is going to be the new fame.
Hmm.
The fact that you don't know somebody or never heard of them, how'd you do that? How'd you pull that off?
Hmm.
There was a
So when he says that, right, what he's speaking to is you do things differently depending on how you look at things or what you think you can get out of it. So even when it comes to the people who are famous, the reason why they're famous for no reason is because we've created a world where you can be famous for not because you're working hard at something. You understand? And don't get me wrong, there's different kinds of work, right? But let's keep it on an artist, or let's just keep it on the kind of people who are famous, like Shamar, the nigga who be 1v1 dressing like a girl, and he got, he got issues, a lot of issues. If not for the internet, this nigga would have had to figure some shit out. He would have had to get his life together. But because y'all got this nigga on this camera, he fighting. I think he's on some Zoo show, and I don't know. I don't know what he do. All I know is that one day I seen a nigga, and I said, oh wow, that's an interesting person. And the next day I seen him, he's dressed like he got a whole weave going on, like dressed like a real bad bitch. I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, that's crazy. There's some crazy choices he making, given the package that he comes in. Pause. Oh shit, you know why I even walking out to the show? Yo, welcome. I am going to push the button again. Sorry about that. Welcome. I'm a gracious host, a humble man. But anywho, so what he's also speaking to is, like I said before, we're only going to see greatness when someone decides, I'm going to do this selflessly. Usually, if you do something selflessly at a high level, at some point it begins to benefit people. And I think with the music, first of all, the artists don't address any of the responsibilities of the artist. And it also is based on what the people will accept. So it's kind of interesting. And I wanted to talk about Ice Spice. So there's been a few I see a lot of like video essays and like documentary style videos on Ice Spice. I think are really good. So I'm going to go ahead and share one real quick. And I thought about her for a few different reasons. For one, Ice Spice in a lot of different ways, like her whole come up, it's a lot like it represents one of those fantasies. Remember I was talking about how like I feel like black women, right? I mean, I think it's a black people thing, but I noticed this with our women where we love the idea of getting something you don't really deserve or you shouldn't be getting, and knowing that you're getting it. This basically feeling like, yo, I'm such a bad bitch. And bad bitch does not necessarily mean beautiful woman. This is a state of mind. This is baddie syndrome. Okay. This is the infection. If narcissism could be a thing that where you can infect somebody with it, it's like that. It's like we're experiencing baddie syndrome is a narcissism outbreak. Okay, it is the actual disease. It's because it's contagious. I was watching Game Changer. He was making a point about basically we're seeing more and more African people on TikTok and all over social media talking shit and basically starting to imitate and talk like American black women. You know what I'm saying? You kind of see it happen everywhere. And what you're hearing is pretty much that whole tone of we don't want y'all niggas. Ew. Fuck out of here. Or kind of going through, because you gotta realize again, women are not direct. They're not really direct communicators. A lot of things women won't even realize when they project on women project everything. Because like, yo, if there's not a man that, especially if you have your dad, if she had her dad around, bro, you cook. Because it means that she's not accustomed to I mean, this is the structure, but mostly the interaction, understanding this is how you talk to men. This is how you deal with men. Men don't like that. In order for men to do well in life in general, for one, if he wants to get a girl, he's going to have to know what women like, what people like in general, right? But if she's not used to that, that kind of thing, she's not going to have a tolerance for it. And she won't know how to really deal with it. That's the same as like, yo, if your mother ain't never showed you no love before, or if your relationship with your mother is verbal abuse or some kind of abuse, it's going to be really tough for you to feel as though you can have a relationship with a woman, or at least a woman who looks like your mother. Yeah, right. So going back to the Ice Spice thing, I remember, was it 2022 or 2023? Hey Google. Hey Google. When did Ice Spice come out with that song Munch?
Sure, I can help with that. Which of these media providers would you like to use?
No, I was asking like what was the year? No, I was asking what year did Ice Spice come out with the song Munch?
Ice Spice released the song Much Feeling You on August
Okay.
10th, 2022.
Okay, all right, so that's what I thought. So I remember when that song came. I mean, it wasn't nothing that. How can I say? I mean, I feel like it was some shit that was happening. It was like one more person that is famous right now, and they're famous more so for them having the right aesthetic. And that's another thing too. You got to realize more than ever, being as though media is bigger than ever, and you can create media at will all day, every day. It really favors you to have the kind of appearance that when you look good. You know what I'm saying? And that's really that's always been like most of the battle is your actual appearance and whatnot, and how good you look, right? But we also seeing, well, more than ever, this is an era where, well, for one, female nature is on full display, because you're seeing a whole generation of women try to maximize. How can I say? Well, for one, try to force their price up, rather than saying, okay, what kind of men do I usually get? What's my range? What can I? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have I actually experienced? You know what I'm saying, well, what kind of guys actually talk to me? No. What you were seeing is a wave of the belief. You know what I'm saying? Basically, a ton of people, a generation of women who are infected. Because a part of the reason why y'all think that you can imitate or emulate the behaviors and the lifestyles and just certain, like, for example, whether they know it or not, a lot of modern women, you're being influenced by a sex worker. That's a sex worker that's dressing like that to the point where you don't have no clothes on. Yo, listen, especially like the Slim Johns. Yo, not even that. Growing up, we never saw real thick girls walk around with their stomach out. That wasn't really a thing. I mean, that's a white girl thing. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, but like, yo, you had to have a body for certain things, like certain kind of outfits. Oh shit! Hold on. Well, hope my ceiling don't cave in the living room. Cause whoever's above me, yo, they got a lot of water coming down. That should put a whole hole in my ceiling. Just about. So I hope we're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on up there. Nami already get killed. Anyway.
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
Okay. And again, it's a real quote from Dr. Umar. But anywho, I want to show a little bit of this video real quick. And yeah, shout out to this content creator. His name is Blackie Speaks. Yo, listen, I'm trying to do these kind of numbers, bro. You know what, man? I'm gonna have to get with an editor or learn. I'm gonna have to learn how to edit some videos, man.
Music industry. From her breakout hit Munch to viral moments with some of the biggest stars in the world, she seemed fairly unstoppable. But as fast as she rose, the buzz around her is starting to die down. Album sales are lower than ever, the hype isn't hitting like it used to, and the public, including her fans, are beginning to move on. In my last video about her Ice Spice to Fall Off, we explore the cracks in her rise to fame. Today we're going to discuss where Ice Spice stands now, why her name is fading away, and whether this is the beginning of the end for her music career, or just a turning point. So, I'm sure most people are familiar with the name, the face.
I remember this right here. I remember telling my ex, like, yo, every time I see this girl, first of all, taking a picture holding your breast is extremely suggestive and provocative. It's not like a normal thing you do when taking a picture. You know what I'm saying? Again, the sex worker culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that you would do if you're selling box. Not just saying someone says, hey, can I get a picture of you? Oh, sure. Let me hold my breast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see people at graduations. You know what I'm saying? If it's a graduation or some kind of family event, the women don't get in the picture and go, it don't matter how nice her breasts are. She don't hold her titties in the picture. Just saying.
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
You understand? Oh.
Donations. 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 Gifts. 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 More gifts.
More gifts. I got more gifts, my nigga.
Or the body. Ice Spice became one of the most talked about.
And that's a good point, too. She mostly is famous for her body, for being. Listen, I give it this right here. This is actually her absolute prime, right? Because not many women actually have like actual sex appeal, like where like you see her and say, "I want to sleep with her." You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of girl that will like actually translates across the screen. You know what I'm saying? But again, you seeing so many labels try to build the artist around just them having a nice body or a nice aesthetic. You know what I mean? And I remember her telling her story about meeting Drake and some of her on the radar freestyle. On the radar freestyle, damn. What? Anyway,
About artists practically overnight, and that was through her breakout hit Munch. On top of that, she had collaborations with stars like Taylor Swift, and there was a lot of conversation surrounding this young, racially ambiguous looking young woman who's taken the industry by storm. As many of us have noticed, however, things have changed for Ice Spice. The buzz isn't what it once used to be. Her numbers are slipping, and that once unstoppable wave of momentum seems to be losing steam. So the question remains, what exactly happened and what's going on right now? It's an undeniable fact that Ice Spice took the music world by storm. Her track Munch gained so much traction, launching her into the spotlight extremely fast. In the year that followed, she collaborated with industry heavyweights, dropped multiple singles that pushed her further up the charts, secured key cosigns, and established herself as one of the most discussed young artists in music. Things are different for her now though, as the name Ice Spice no longer carries the same weight it once did. A few months ago, we examined her recent album sales, and unfortunately, her project didn't really perform that well. Her debut studio album, Y2K, which had a significant amount of hype and buildup, dropped on July 26, 2024. The project featured 10 songs, clocking in at just about 23 minutes. A notably short.
damn, nigga, 23 minute. How do you make a 23-minute album? But also, too, for all you men out there, one of the reasons why Ice Spice is not going to be is not able to maintain. A lot of these girls can't maintain no success because your whole fan base is just women or just girls, and girls are fickle. And don't get me wrong, you do need to kind of your content doesn't have to be niche or your music doesn't have to be niche, right? But like what she's doing, and I know it's just a lot with female artists. Y'all really make music that's especially if they black. I'm saying y'all making music for like you're making like that like thought music, you know what I mean? Or you're trying to make it sound like thought music. And to a certain degree, I get that it has to be a little ghetto, a little ratchet, you know what I mean? Like I realize that about hip hop. Like I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but Doechii. I feel like, you know what, I'm not mad at it in her music because you know what, because she's showing ability and thought and intention with her shit. You know what I mean? So that's why I respect it. You feel me? But anywho.
Short runtime for a debut release. When it finally arrived, the reception was sour. The album managed to push around 28,000 units in its first week. numbers that wouldn't necessarily be considered bad for a typical new artist. But in Ice Spice's case, these numbers were definitely underwhelming, considering the millions spent in marketing and the expansive promotional budget allocated to her career, an advantage that most rising artists simply don't receive at such an early stage. The performance of this album was widely seen as underwhelming. Her face and name appeared in places that most up-and-coming artists could only dream of. Riding that initial wave of fame, she leveraged her platform to secure a substantial number of accolades and high-profile opportunities. Munch, the track that initially propelled her into the spotlight, gained significant traction upon its release in August 2022.
You know what? I'm gonna say something real quick because I really just wanted to just get into her a little bit. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. There was a song with Lil B. I think, and I'm not Lil B. I'm sorry. I think Young B. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. With soda on the side. So there was a girl that was on there. Her name was I think her name was Young B. You know what I'm saying? Real cute chocolate girl who grew up to be a violent girl and loving hip hop. And I remember that record, right? That was the first wave of just like records that sound like they was made by people who don't really rap, but they still wound up being hits. More so because YouTube and social media was starting to become a thing, and you were able to get to your audience. Matter of fact, you can speak directly to an audience. Matter of fact, you can go find them. Like you can literally go find them. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put certain filters on to make sure that this gets to this age demographic. You know what I'm saying? Or you can title videos and make content in a way to make sure that a certain demographic sees it. Or the platform pushes it to a particular demographic. You understand? So over time, when the kids start doing more YouTube videos, so i.e. Crank That Soulja Boy. When Soulja Boy made that song, he made a dance to go with it, so people wanted to do the dance. So naturally, they want to play the song while they do the dance, right? And what that did was, kind of, again, make more artists say, well, I'm trying to make me a bag. I'm trying to make some money. So I'm going to do what he did. And you know what I mean? So, you started getting more artists that started saying, we got to make something that the kids can get into. Or the artists start to think that I have to make music that the kids can like, so that they'll play my song while they do dances and shit like that. Then we started getting more of people trying to pretty much imitate what Drake was doing. You know what I mean? Because that's an easier lane to get into. Like I don't have to be a street dude to be knowledgeable and be hip to rap about girls, rap about that. You know what I'm saying? But that was Drake's lane, right? So two things happened. Niggas start trying to write and rap for girls, and then niggas was trying to write and rap for the kids. And that took the maturity out the content. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, more people who don't have the skill set or the integrity or just sensibility when it comes to making choices about music start coming in. And that's how we get an Ice Spice. And again, I know I'm kind of jumping all around and whatnot. I want to talk about it for a second because I meant to get into to the whole thing with her and her DJ. I'm sorry. With that girl, I think her name was Cleo Chaplin, something like that. And the whole falling out that they had, right? But overall, I mean, I never thought she was gonna have no kind of career, but it's really interesting because her whole career, everything about her, it fits like the whole, how can I say? Like the modern black woman that is infected with Baddies syndrome, except she's living the fantasy of, I don't need to be a good person. I don't need. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and play that next, so that we have, because I mean we're already here, and then we'll go into another topic and everything. But I wanted to talk about that. 1 second, y'all. So I actually never got into this subject. So this is someone that Ice Spice was cool with and whatnot, and she invited the girl on tour. I think the main issue was that she didn't actually really think things through and actually come up with really go through the whole logistics of bringing someone on tour with you in terms of the accommodations, keeping it, where they're gonna keep their stuff at, but just everything, right? So this girl, now it's a very long. She has a longer video, but I just want you guys to kind of get, kind of hear what I'm talking about. All right. So what she's going to speak to is again, Ice Spice is everything that that pretty much most modern women want to be. You know what I'm saying? She's attractive. She's actually attractive enough to like actually, like to the point where like when Drake flew her out. Okay, like Drake reached out to her. That's how attractive this girl is. All right. The chances of Drizzy reaching out to you, first of all, this is a celebrity in general. This person is nobody. She was like just that cute. All right. And again, not really too much going on. She ain't had the biggest booty or nothing like that. Actually, it was really because she looked how attractive women used to look. You know what I'm saying? Where like, yeah, she wasn't. It's not this perfect face. Like you know what I mean? Like she just. I don't know how to. She checks all the boxes. I'll put it like that. I don't know how to put it, but I'm just saying like she has relatable attractiveness to the point where like it could be monetized. You understand? But anywho. But the story is important because this is a story that's playing out all day, every day in America. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're seeing because again a part of Baddie syndrome and the infection is you don't have empathy for people and you have no awareness of how people experience you or how people look at you. You know what I'm saying? And like I heard Crimson Curl say this earlier about how like, yo, in someone's story, in someone's experience of you, you are so the villain. Like you are the villain in someone's story, or you have been a villain in someone's story. And what does that say about you? You know what I'm saying? Or have you ever thought about that type shit? You know what I mean? So anywho, I'm going to go ahead and play this video real quick.
30 something and we going on tour August 1st, like girl, like literally one day. So I'm just like, what do I have to pay for? Nothing. You're gonna be with me. You're good. You're gonna be with me. July 30 something and we going on tour August 1st, like girl, like literally one day. So I'm just like, what do I have to pay for? Nothing. You're gonna be with me. You're good. You're gonna be with me. July 30 something.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the worst thing people can do.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought there was more there. I'm trying to avoid playing the whole video because I didn't plan. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play a little bit.
But you actually have one time to show me that you are jealous, intimidated, untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, and genuine, manipulative, and calculated. And I promise you that will be the last time you ever play with me.
Welcome.
Fair use.
Come back to my channel, mother suckers. Hey, y'all already know I am Eloho. I fell back.
This content creator name is I am Elejo. I'm sorry, Eloho. I am Eloho. Big channel. Shout out to them. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe right now. Boom. All right, and I'm gonna like the video. 10,000 likes. That's all I'm talking about, sis. Go ahead and get your bag, sis. I'm gonna go ahead and use this jar right here. Don't mind me.
I had a baby, but I'm back in these YouTube streets. And I hate to say I told y'all so, but 6 months ago, I told y'all so. I did a video titled Ice Spice is Not Your Friend. And this was a warning to Cleotrapa because I felt like she really wasn't seeing the full picture. I don't think she.
And you know what? I might not even go through the whole video. That actually encompasses like what the next point I want to get to. About what are your intrinsic qualities. You know why she thought that girl was her friend? And I think she knew what Ice Spice is capable of. But the reason why you know it is, y'all really think that again, because a part of narcissism is that there are no consequences to the things you do. Like you really don't like that doesn't resonate with you. You don't feel that. You don't have a deep understanding of if I do this, these things are going to happen. Because a part of being a narcissist is like social invincibility, where it's like you feel like, well, socially, nah, shit, everything gonna be good. Nah, that's okay if I ghost this person. So it's okay if I make this person feel like shit. That's all right. You know what I'm saying? And who knows, or maybe we should call it main character syndrome, where you behave too much like you're in a TV show. But anywho, birds of a feather, you know what I mean? But if this person seems like someone you want to be around, and a part of it is because you want to use that girl anyway, right? And and again, what happened basically was she went on tour with Ice Spice, and Ice Spice did not have anything planned. And on top of that, she wasn't trying. She wasn't treating her like a guest. And on top of that, y'all supposedly cool, but y'all obviously never had a real friendship though. So I'm gonna let her talk a little bit.
She fully saw how Ice Spice was actually using her in multiple ways. But now Ice Spice tour is over and they both unfollowed each other on Instagram. Then Cleopatra drops a 5-part storytime by the effing storytime, exposing Ice Spice for being a bad friend and giving details of what happened to her on the tour. So if you haven't seen my initial video, go ahead and check that out. Then come back and watch this one. Ice Spice is currently being dragged all over Twitter, and she did respond to Cleopatra's story time. I'm going to give my opinions on everything in a separate video because this one is already lengthy. Go ahead and check this out.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cleo. So y'all know me. I've always been vocal about everything, about literally everything. Nobody can shut me up. Nobody can silence me. You're scared of it or you love it. Up us being together. You guys do deserve to know why we're not friends. Y'all do deserve to. Okay, like, I guess this girl, in my head, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I guess she's really trying to make up for that fake shit that got exposed like over the United States with you to watch you perform kind of crazy. She's like, no, I want you to perform. And I gagged. You want me to perform? She ain't never, ever, ever, ever brought me out on stage. I was like, oh, wait. Okay. Like, I guess this girl, in my head, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I guess she's really trying to make up for that fake shit that got exposed like a month ago. Like, she's really trying to, like, you know, be an actual friend because that shit was weird as fuck. And I checked her about that shit. And even for her to apologize was like pulling teeth. Like, girl, you got caught calling your friend jealous for no reason. And her excuse was that I didn't speak up when I was asked if she was Nigerian. Like, girl, I met you a month before that video. I didn't even know you was Nigerian. So that was kind of weird to me too, that she was upset at me for not knowing if she was Nigerian. And she said that you could have at least said I was black. Like, girl, I didn't even know you. Am I your PR? Am I supposed to be clearing up every time somebody's asking about you being black or Nigerian? Like, that's.
Yo, I'm tell you something. You know what? I'm gonna stop it right there. We are at the halfway mark and whatnot. That's not a thing that happens. That's not a thing that happens in friendships. It's not. You're not supposed to have any kind of drama in a friendship. But these kind of things kind of always go on. So anyway, what prompted me and got me into this subject was, people feeling as though, cause I've been thinking a lot about my experiences that I've had with people feeling as though they should tell me how I should think about shit. Or feeling as though feeling comfortable telling me how I should think, tell me what I can and can't say. We saw it a whole lot with this election. And I thought it was an interesting experience because I'm like, well, I have to think for myself, like, where do I stand with these people? You know what I'm saying? And that was the whole thing about the whole thing with Trump. Like, I think a lot about my thoughts on him back in 2016, which even back then, I didn't really dislike Trump. It was I ain't gonna lie, I mean, again, that was a whole different phase in life, and I get why some people don't like him. I mean, I get it and whatnot, but I've learned to try to appreciate people who are different than me. Because a part of why I didn't like him was because, I mean, that back then I was a little more woke. Back then I was a little more like, I mean, I still love black people and I'm all about black people and whatnot, but not just for the sake of it. Not doing things, not basically walking the walk. Not that shit where, you know, I'm going to just support you. Because I feel like black people do this shit where we say support too. And support is important. I'm not saying it's not important. But we got to think about what that looks like. All right, because for the most part, most things we actually do support, we blindly support it. You understand? So, anywho, so I seen this picture, and people have been wondering what's been going on with Ice Spice for a minute, and people have been talking about her losing weight for a minute, and so I was looking at this comment section. This is on Spiritual Word, and someone writes, "What's going on with Ice?" Another girl writes, "What happened to her?" Then this guy says, "We remember how y'all did Chadwick Boseman. Keep your mouth off of people's appearances. You never know what kind of battles these folks are fighting. Sir, 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 sir. Chadwick Boseman, we found out he's passed away from cancer. People were wondering what was going on with him. People actually were saying the same thing. What's going on? He looks sick. Kind of found that the brother was sick. All right, but he wasn't taking pictures in Nobu with his belly out. He wasn't taking pictures nowhere thinking he was a bad bitch. You know what I'm saying?
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
Your cookies get crushed, man. That's not what he was doing. Yeah, what that shit is black people love to do this shit where you stop people from thinking about other people, or you stop people from expressing themselves, and you decide, no, you don't get to talk about that. I'm here to swoop in and say, hey, you don't know what's going on. I remember, the same one that real crazy big girl I used to talk to. I remember I was I think that was the most like intense experience I had in terms of at the time I didn't have words for it, but someone who was really infected with that leftist way of thinking, and I say that only because I just noticed that people who think leftist, reason why I'm more moderate with shit is because like, I have more experience now, and I want to be fair when I say things. I don't want to just have a bias or just go off of what my personal biases are, right? And being around her, it was always this shit where social media makes you feel as though you should have the same confidence the actual therapist has, and you have the authority. First of all, therapists don't have authority, but they behave as if they're therapists who have authority, and you can swoop in and say, no, this is what's actually going on here, or this is what this is, or I'm here to educate you, and you should feel stupid and feel like you're a bad person for not knowing this thing that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, for example, narcissism. Back in 2017 and 2018 and 2019, when girls found out what that word was, for the most part, they had a whole new, they were able to create a stronger scapegoat for why you're single or why you're not in that relationship or what happened in that relationship. Oh, no, he was a narcissist. For the most part, if you talk to most modern women and you ask them about their relationship, a lot of them will say that their ex was a narcissist. And ironically, again, more and more, you're starting to realize that, whatever your girl worries about the most, whatever she's afraid of the most, she's going to project that on you. I mean, my ex used to always basically be accusing me of cheating on her. And so many words, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, you the only cheater here. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, let me later on I did, but you know what I mean? I had to get my licks back. But I just thought it was interesting. I also think it's interesting because of just how we are in the community, where people always feel as though they need to come in and stop someone from critiquing black women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, lacking their hurt the Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was walking with a cane.